Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Iwan Kutalaba to defeat Kennedy and Nzechukwu. And I'm here to talk about Tanner Boser versus Aleksa Camur. Tanner Boser is 32 years old, 20, 10, and 1 as a pro, and he's got 1 inch of height and 1.5 inches of reach over 27-year-old Camur, who is 6 and 2. Tanner Boser, he's got 10 wins, 10 losses, 2 via knockout, 8 via decision. The 2 knockouts come to Tim Hague, former UFC fighter, a loss that he avenged. Rest in peace, Tim Hague, by the way. And Iwan Kutalaba in his last fight. That was where he cut down to light heavyweight. And Iwan Kutalaba, despite having a lot of vulnerabilities himself, one of those vulnerabilities is definitely not being a first-round monster. That's something he's always got, and he was able to crowd Tanner Boser and get him out of there. So it happened. And you got to wonder if cutting down to light heavyweight hurt him in any way, physically, Tanner Boser. And one thing it definitely did was take away his speed advantage. I mean, he's still a fast guy, maybe even faster than most, but at heavyweight, he was the fastest, or certainly one of them. And it helped him get plenty of knockout victories. We saw him knock out Philip Lin's OSP. I know those are both light heavyweights, or the in between. And Rafael Pessoa as well. I think his first name was Rafael. Either way. Tanner Boser, he has never been submitted. He's only got 2 submission wins, but 0 submission losses. His other 8 losses come all by decision. And we've seen a good amount of him in the UFC. He was crowded by Rodrigo Nascimento, who is a big, monstrous heavyweight with a good ground game, and Tanner still didn't succumb there. We saw him lose decisions to Ilir Latifi, Andrei Arlovsky, and a fella named Cyril Gane. So Tanner Boser has historically been able to take it. And he's a really good rangy striker, good counter striker, good mullet. I fucking hate the mullet, to be honest. But, yeah, Tanner Boser, he's quick. That's his primary weapon. At least it was at heavyweight again. Aleksa Camur, he's a good kickboxer. Aleksa Camur, Aleksa, forget it. I'm just going to call him Camur. Camur is 6 and 2 as a pro. He's got 5 wins via knockout, 1 win via decision, and the 2 losses both come via decision. All 3 of the decisions have been in the UFC. He beat Justin Ledet and then lost to Nikolai Negumereanu and William Knight. And all 3 fights were kind of close. Even though I thought William Knight won all 3 rounds, he was able to repeatedly take him down. It was it became a battle of clinch takedowns, and William Knight was winning, even though he's 4'7", and Aleksa Camur had a lot of trouble dealing with that bowling ball on top of him. And Negumereanu out-hustled Camur. That was a close fight, definitely the closer of the 2 losses, but Negumereanu, I thought, out-hustled him a little bit. Camur has, and I'm saying this in the wake of John Anik talking about Jan Blachowicz this past weekend in round 3 against Pereira. Camur definitely has some optical issues. He's got bad optics. Which I guess could just mean he has bad cardio, even though he's never been finished or whatever. But he has not looked good in round 3. He's looked a little faded. Even in his win over Justin Ledet, his 1 decision win, looked like he was allowing him into the fight in the second half, slowing down a bit and whatever. And then, of course, he ripped him to the mat in the final seconds of round 3 with a beautiful takedown and secured the win. So it's not like he was totally out of it. He, put up a good effort there, but I noticed some optics. At least it was on my mind after, the Jan Blachowicz fight there. And his only real relevant finish is over Fabio Cherant, former UFC fighter. Hit him with the flying knee and whatever. Camur, he's a good kickboxer. I think at the UFC level, we're not going to see too many knockouts. He doesn't seem so powerful, to be honest. But when he's fresh early on, he's got the volume. Then it falls off a little bit. And in a lot of his fights, I expect a lot of clinching. I think that's what we could see here. A good amount of clinching. But I'm picking Tanner Boser. I'm assuming he's still healthy. and I think he's definitely a little bigger, and I'm expecting him to be sharper. Boser, he just doesn't have that body, right? I can say he's going to win the physicality battle, but Tanner Boser, I do think he's bigger and could muscle Camur around a little more in the clinch. And on the outside, Camur, that's where he does his best work, but I think Tanner Boser is a little bigger, a little longer, and very quick. This guy was very quick as a heavyweight, and now as a light heavyweight, he's still one of the quicker guys, and I think he's going to be able to match Camur and even get the better of him. So Tanner Boser is the pick. I can't say if it'd be by knockout or decision, because, I guess I'd lean towards decision because Camur hasn't been knocked out yet, but Tanner Boser beating him to the punch, that's something that even Nega Mariano started to land on him more, and he's more of a brawler, but he doesn't hit like Tanner Boser does. Tanner Boser is a lot sharper and quicker, so a knockout wouldn't surprise me, but I'm going with Tanner Boser. I think he can win on the outside and bully him on the inside. So Tanner Boser, I guess, gun to my head, I'd go with a decision, and I bet on him at -150. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.